But 2 goals from nowhere for Tottenham give them the point at Stamford Bridge. But there's controversy. We're delving into it tonight. We're taking your calls this evening. Should there have been a foul in the lead up to the first goal? It appeared that Kai Havertz was fouled. And then the first corner comes in for Tottenham, which is cleared for a second. And VAR evidence, video evidence showed Romero pulling the hair of Cucurella. Should that have resulted in a foul in the opposite direction? It wasn't given. Harry Kane scores from the resulting corner. 2-2 on the night. A great advert, we say. Chelsea doing everything but putting the ball in the back of the net enough times. They dominated Spurs. Spurs showed that resilience. The managers kicked off. The managers had their fights as well. I want to hear from you today on the Football Terrace. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. I need that like button smashed as well. Get that done right now. Joined in the studio by the brilliant Jessica Black. How are you?
I'm good. That was an insane game, wasn't it? Like, it just had everything. So, yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
Absolutely. And listen, I'm putting it out there. I'm going to give you my opinion from the bat. Chelsea were robbed today. Absolutely robbed. Yes, they could have scored more goals. They could have scored more goals. There's no doubt about it. Kai Havertz missing sitters every single time that Ruben Loftus-Cheek broke into the box. He didn't do the right thing. Raheem Sterling put 2 or 3 balls into great positions where nobody made the right runs. Chelsea create. They don't have killers. They need a goal scorer up front who's decent on the ball to not break up their attacks. That's the only criticism of Chelsea. Their goals came against a run of play, but both came with massive controversies as far as I'm concerned. The first one, there should have been a foul to Chelsea. Clearly doesn't touch the ball, gets all of the player. Yes, there might be phases after that, but that isn't how football works. That ball would not have resulted in the back of the net should the rightful foul have been given. And for me at the end, Romero needs to be sent off. He literally, I heard the commentator go, it's only his hair, he didn't hit him. Your hair is part of your body. You can't pull on someone's hair in that way. It's a disgrace that VAR didn't overturn it. If I was a Chelsea player, I would go around in the next football match and just grab everybody by their hair. No one's going to get in trouble because VAR has allowed a Spurs player to get away with it. Spurs can count themselves very, very lucky indeed today. And I know Spurs fans are going to celebrate, and rightfully so. But I just thought it was massively controversial. What's your point of view, Jay?
Yeah, I think there was just so many moments in this game where you looked at it and you thought Chelsea should definitely be further ahead. They were by far the better team. I think at the end of the first half, it was 70% possession to 30. And that's very rare to see, like, in top 4 clashes. Like, usually, even if you're away, you'd still have more possession than that. But I think we were saying in the studio the entire time, like, if you don't get the second goal, you're leaving yourself exposed. And Chelsea just did not have the finishing ability in this game. But I do think that I wouldn't go as far as say that they were robbed, just because if they're up a couple more goals, if Reece James doesn't foul Kane unnecessarily there in stoppage time, things are so different. So I do think Chelsea did enough in this game to kind of kill their own result. But Spurs definitely got lucky. Now, what I'll say is that does it really matter? When we're looking at the grand scheme of the season, does it really matter that Spurs went away from home and nicked a draw? Probably not. They'll probably be celebrating, like you said. But yeah, you did kind of see that there was a difference in level of the teams. And so all of us kind of saw it. So yeah, I think we're all going to be talking about that.
Absolutely. And listen, I would go as far to say robbed today. And if it was the other way around and Spurs dominated, they had all the chances, they had all the play, and they conceded 2 goals that resulted at the beginning of those plays, there was fouls. And yeah, Reece James gives away that foul and he shouldn't have done. But that resulted in a corner where a player of theirs was not just fouled, but it's a red card as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, 100%. It's a red card. Like, I don't know how, I just don't understand how they looked at it. I think a lot of people are like, how can you pull somebody's hair and then it just be like nothing? And so, yeah, I was telling Javern, who's, helping us out today as well, like, that Spurs get a lot of calls. Like, they get a lot of things that are not really looked at and penalties and things like that. So if you don't get ahead and you don't get 2-3 goals, what happened at the end is what happens.
Absolutely. And look, Chelsea have got a lot to feel positive about in this game. They play good football. They move the ball well. They create chances. They were the most dominant team, no doubt about it. even the way they conceded, they didn't even look under pressure for large parts of the game. It was a smash and grab from Antonio Conte. It's as simple as that. It really is. And you obviously saw needle at the end with the way Conte kept on getting in Thomas Tuchel's face. Both managers have now been sent off subsequently and will receive a touchline ban for at least one game. But I understood Thomas Tuchel's frustration. I would be frustrated because his players let him down today in parts. And then the refereeing. When you've got VAR, these mistakes shouldn't be happening in football because VAR should have looked back and gone, the ball was not won, the ball was not touched, Kai Havertz was clearly fouled, we missed it, therefore we have to go back to that point and bring a foul back. Equally, I can't believe a man has had his hair pulled in a centre circle and nothing's happened. If you go and pull the referee's hair, you get sent off. You go and the managers pull each other's hair, they get sent off. If Harry Kane's running through on goal and you pull him by his hair, you're going to get sent off. So I don't, and not sent off for denying a goal scoring, you'll be sent off for violent conduct. Yeah. For me, Chelsea should be writing to the FA. They should be writing to the Premier League. They should be asking for Anthony Taylor to be suspended. It was one of the worst refereeing performances I have ever seen in the Premier League. And both the goals came from disgusting decisions from the officials. And Spurs, listen, if I'm a Spurs fan tonight, I am celebrating hard. I'm getting out the champagne. You are never going to be given an easier point in the Premier League in my life. You were awful. You didn't deserve it. You barely created. Harry Kane and Son were invisible, and you still got a point. If you're a Spurs fan tonight and you are not holding a party, a Mardi Gras, you are off your rocker. Now, I want to go to some of these super chats that have come through. Lots have happened. Amazing game for the neutral. Yeah, I think we'd all agree, an amazing game for the neutral, no doubt about it. This comment here says, Anthony Taylor is going to make stupid calls in this Prem, not blaming the ref. We should have scored way more again. Same problem. What a game. And look, there are elements of Chelsea that they need to look at, as we said. Rotterdam escaped with 1 point. Spuds still overrated is what Anthony says. He's a gooner. I'm shaking. I'm so mad. How does Cucurella's hair pull not get a card? Both Spurs goals came after obvious frazzled disruptions. I am sick is what Moose Wizard has got to say here.
All I was going to say is that, like, the frazzled disruption, please don't forget that Jorginho was doing something in the box before that first goal. Like, ultimately, you can blame the refs, but, like, there were just some situations, especially with Jorginho, who was having a good game, by the way, who kind of maybe tarnished all of that by just kind of trapping the ball and messing around with it in the box. I know you said that you felt like, you know, one of the Chelsea players shouldn't have passed it to him, but you just expect a player of his experience to just boot it out. You know, so some of that frazzled disruption was also of Chelsea's own doing by not having maybe the, I don't know, maybe just lack of concentration or something. Yeah,
I mean, listen, Chelsea made mistakes, and I don't think that they'll get away from it. Tuchel and his team will focus on it. But for me, to have 2 goals stem from this, especially the second goal, the equalizing goal at the end, it should have been a red card to Romero, a free kick to Chelsea, and end of the game. You might be able to make an argument as we're doing for the first goal, but the second one, woeful. Pulling someone's hair down is a red card. 110%. I can't believe it isn't. I want to see players this next weekend use this as a precedent and start pulling hair and get nothing. Not even fouls. It's not even a foul, according to referees. Anthony Taylor strikes again is what Bob G believes. It is a surprise that Anthony Taylor yet again in controversy in another game of Chelsea's. Also, Mike Dean on VAR. Horrendous is what C's got to say. Terry, these are the kind of things will happen to everybody. Says they are robbed is too far. Conceding in the last minute of a game is still on them. And I think some Chelsea fans will reflect on that and look at it, but that last corner shouldn't have come into the box. And I think all fans will feel like Chelsea fans today. And I think football fans in general should be calling this out, because if we allow these mistakes with referees to happen and the football fraternity doesn't call it out, they continue to happen. We should be demanding that. By the way, they're recording the VAR conversations. So what Chelsea fans should be demanding is to hear exactly what was said, to hear exactly why they didn't think it was a foul. That should then be broadcast across Sky Sports, BT Sports, YouTube, and we should hear what these coward refs said to not give that as a foul. And then you use it as a precedent. Start hair pulling all the time. What you do is you've got to use referees' mistakes back against them. That's how you get back at these people. Thank you, Terry. Not only a biased fan. I'm not a biased fan. Listen, it doesn't bother me. I'm honest as the day is long. Chelsea were robbed. Clown is what Nabil's got to say. Nabil, tell me how they weren't robbed. Explain it, and I'll change my mind. Robbed, as always, when Anthony Taylor stops refereeing our games. Always controversy when he refs our games. Romero acting like Cucurella's girl. Thank you very much here to First Time Up for becoming an official member. Usually, I don't blame refs in any sport because it's up to the players and coaches to deliver. The ref's crew was terrible. Very obvious calls leading to 2 goals. You got to remember, they scored 2 goals, Chelsea. This wasn't a 0-0 where they didn't finish any of their chances. They scored 2 goals. There's still a lot. Spurs don't concede a lot of goals. Scoring 2 goals is still good. They probably should have had 3 or 4, but scoring 2 goals is good. It wasn't a 0-0 where Chelsea missed all their chances and then got a dodgy penalty at the end, and you can't really blame the ref. Yeah. Both goals stem from disgusting mistakes.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because, like, Thomas Tuchel tactically had set up his team so well that, like you said, they were able to get 2 goals against a team that's been very difficult to score against in 2022. And it's just unfortunate. I'm sure he probably is sitting there like, I did everything I possibly could. I deserve those 3 points. Tactically, Thomas Tuchel had, like, that was like a 10 out of 10 for him. Like, it couldn't have gotten any better. He deserved the 3 points.
Without a shadow of a doubt, comment here says this is more than anything or what I wanted to see from Chelsea. From Tottenham. Yes, Chelsea outplayed them, but it's that mentality unbelievable from Tottenham. Listen, I thought Tottenham were awful today. And I'll be honest with you, this isn't what a title contending team looks like. Yes, you can argue, they got a point, well done. If Spurs perform like this away from home against the top 6 and 2 or 3 of the better teams in the top half, the Newcastles, the Leicesters, potentially the Wolves, the West Hams, whoever else. There'll be 2. We don't quite know who those teams are yet because the league hasn't kind of funneled out. If they perform like this away against those teams, they lose. And Spurs fans are talking about being title contenders, about being a shoo-in to finish 10 points clear of Chelsea, to finish 10 points clear of Arsenal. Not performing like that, they won't. They got very, very, very lucky today.
Yeah, it was more of a... They can't really look at that. I mean, they can say mentality all day long, but ultimately you'd want more from that performance before the 80-somethingth minute. It really wasn't until Richarlison came in where they saw anything. This is a fan base that has been, Harry Kane this, Son that. It's better than your midfield. It's better than this. But it didn't look like that. And it's not just that, like, Chelsea were set up perfectly. Conte had no answers until the referee helped them out. And Chelsea made some mistakes. So, I mean, you can look at it as like, we got away with the point, but you really got away with it. It's almost like 2 points dropped for Chelsea, or, you know what I mean? Instead of one game, like, Spurs actually won that point, if that makes sense. Like, it was more of a Chelsea fault than anything in the refs.
Couldn't agree with you more. Super chat here says, so this is really a Spurs side who'd finished 3rd. I couldn't agree more. It's a good Spurs team that will finish in the top 5 and we're very close to top 4, but they're not on Chelsea's level and they're not on Arsenal's level. Spoken like a true Arsenal fan, you are scared top 4 is gone for Arsenal. Spurs and Tottenham will finish above you, is what Juan says to Jess. Cry more, Chelsea fans, aka we're not reading that one out loud. There we go, but thank you. This is the difference in Conte Spurs. Havertz was a foul, but Koulibaly was fouled in Spurs' second goal. Romero pulling hair, but Cucurella was pulling the shirt. Listen, if they're both pulling each other's shirts, you let it go. Pulling someone's hair is physical. That is a red card offense. So pulling a shirt is a booking and a foul. If you're both doing it to each other, I can understand the ref going, no, look, they're both pulling each other 50-50, leave it. But pulling someone's hair to the ground, listen, Zayn, I respect you, my guy, but that is a straight red card. Chelsea getting clubbed to death by the rule book is what Gavin has said here. It's crazy. Taylor is going to be a World Cup ref. I agree. Hot take, I'd rather see Spurs and Chelsea go at it than see Liverpool and City buddy. Crap. Tuchel and Conte's touchline is a camera must. Listen, I will say that them two having a scrap was brilliant. That is what rivalry is. That is what football is. Things boil over. You get a little bit annoyed at your opponents. That there was exactly what you want to see from your managers. You want to see pride. You want to see passion. You want to see needle because it sets the clubs against each other. City and Liverpool don't have a rivalry. That's why their title races they're brilliant footballing wise, but from a spirit and an emotional aspect, there's niche going on. You're absolutely right. Another game which Anthony Taylor robbed us, did the same against Liverpool, and now today, blatant foul by Romero in the build-up. Midfielders needed, is what Adrian says here. Terry, lots of seasons, Aspie fouled a Southampton player, and we ended up scoring 117th second, but VAR ruled it out, so why didn't they do the same today? Agree. Cry more, Terry, you're getting relegated this season. Listen, my club's awful, and everyone knows my club's awful, but that doesn't take away from the terrible refereeing decisions today. By the way, all the brilliant people tuning in, smash the like button for the Football Terrace. We're asking these questions. Did Chelsea bottle it, or were they robbed? Antonio Conte masterclass, or was this a catastrophic collapse at the end by Chelsea? Where do you stand on this? Get your comments in. We're going to share the link in the moment. Javern's going to put it in the comment section for you to phone in on StreamYard and to have your say. Let's go to some more of your comments, though, because you guys are the reason that the Terrace exists. Tuchel is a Chelsea manager through and through. I love his fight for our club, and I need to see his post-match. Neither one of those goals for Spurs should have stood. Pulled hair and Bentancur tackle Anthony Taylor. The only people that like J5 are Twitter hipsters. Every time we got opened up, it was because of him. I like him. I like him. But the ref was perhaps jealous of Cucurella's hair. That could be true. Or mine now. Now that the hair is back. The ref was perhaps jealous of... Sorry, I read that one. Jess Salt, Terry Salt, Spurs and Chelsea levels ahead of Arsenal, will be minimum 10 points ahead of Arsenal come the end of the season. Ha, ha, ha. You pair are seething. I've backed Chelsea to do very well this season, so not really.
I feel relaxed. Like... I mean, that was a perfect result for us. So, you know, it is what it is.
Absolutely. Pulling hair is disgusting, dirty, and vile, is what's been said here. Thank you to Lynn for becoming an official member of the Terrace. This comment says, disgusting refereeing decisions needs investigating. Absolutely right that it needs investigating. The EPL is the best league in the world. But all this controversy does make it brilliant. I can't lie. It is great. I'm excited talking about it, and I know you are as well. I need Patrick right now. Explain this draw. I mean, yeah, Spurs fans did say they were going to batter them. And look, Spurs fans will walk away with an element of pride tonight because they've got that point, but they know the score. Chelsea are the better team, and Tuchel is the better manager. Spurs fans deluded as always. This super chat says, don't think Chelsea were ready for the second corner. We were shell-shocked. There was no call. I think we played well today. There are positives, absolute positives for Chelsea. I don't think you can deny that. That last goal might be changed to an own goal. Yeah, I don't think... I mean, Reece James would rather Harry Kane gets it because he don't want that against his name, but it could be. These teams are not on our level, neither Arsenal or Spurs. We are above and beyond in quality. It's always the ref that rescues teams, is what G says here. Nabil says, kind of performance by Spurs can easily beat United. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're disputing that. That's not really a conversation. Terry, you and that Arsenal woman fan know nothing about football. You're a woman fan. That woman fan. Woman fan. That's actually one of the funniest things anyone's... I don't really understand it, but there we go. How far should VAR go back, Rob, for the second goal?
It should have been called initially. Like, that's the issue, is that it was literally right there and he didn't call it then, and it was a clear foul then. I think that it was too far away from the goal, but when you look at it, it's kind of like it was in the same passage, and their whole thing was like, it's too far back, but it was like a clear foul in the moment. And so I can see why Chelsea fans are feeling like, because when you look at it, it just, Bentancur was not really near the ball. He just took his leg.
100%.
Yeah.
This year says Spurs pressing today was non-existent. Tactically, Conte seemed unsure switching between 3 and 4. Spurs looked mediocre at best, not better than Arsenal or Chelsea. I agree. Spurs looked average today. They really, and I know they've still got to win. They've got to start to, look, this team needs Perisic. It needs Basuma integrated. Look, Richarlison, I thought he came on and did niche. He doesn't need as much integration. He's a Premier League player. Basuma, I don't really understand why he's not starting, but I suppose you don't want to break up a team that ended the season well, I suppose. But yeah, Spurs don't look as great as their fans make them out to be. I still think they're going to push Chelsea and Arsenal hard to that top 4. They're going to be a very good team this year. I'm not putting them down, but listen, I've had at least 4 or 5 Spurs fans on the channel and read dozens and dozens of tweets where they're talking about literally they believe they can go toe-to-toe with Liverpool and City. I think that's a madness comment. Unrelated to football today, Terry and Jess, you rock. Thank you, my bro. We appreciate that very, very much. Jess is converting you to an Arsenal fan. Bruv, you've got more chance. I'm not going to say what I'm about to say. I'm going to get cancelled. Great touchline effort by two BTEC Mourinho's. Patrick, come outside. I don't know where Patrick is. They've got the link. Havertz last season, sick of his poor finishing. But we are going to go to calls very soon, Peter, was to stay backstage. I wanted to ask you about that. Chelsea were creative today, weren't they? But the lack of finishing and taking chances today it could be slightly worrying for Chelsea fans.
I don't even know if it's obviously the finishing, but it's also just like decision making in and around the box. There were so many times where like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who I did think had a really good game, just didn't do the right thing, let the ball get caught underneath his feet. Sterling did the same. Like it just felt like they were just a step too late or crossing it into the wrong area, or they got it across and then nobody was there. So maybe there's like a lack of cohesion there, as well as just bad decision making from that Chelsea front three. But at the same time, like Chelsea has had this issue from before. You know, a lot of people are saying that like it's a Tuchel issue, it's a system issue, like where he's really good defensively, like attacking wise, he hasn't got it to click. I feel like it's somewhat of a personnel issue as well. Like they don't have somebody that has that finishing touch. And Kai Havertz is somebody that does a lot of good link up play and is a nice player, but he missed a wide open chance. He should have been putting that away. So Chelsea lack finishers and decision making. They should have been 3 or 4 goals clear of Spurs, you know, but they just couldn't finish their dinner.
You're absolutely right. And I again, as a neutral watching Chelsea today, you could always do with more creativity. You need someone better than Loftus-Cheek on that right-hand side, no doubt. But you put in a competent ball-playing striker, you're going places. You're absolutely going places. You put a better midfielder in. You land a Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang who is competent on the ball. He isn't Lewandowski, but he's definitely better than Lukaku in terms of his ball play, in my opinion. You bring in De Jong into that middle who is seemingly available, and you do. I think you start challenging. I don't think you'll win the title, but I think you'll be 5-6 points behind maximum by the end of the season. You're that good, you know. And when your attack becomes more potent, people will come out at you less. Like Spurs were too scared to throw their fullbacks forward. They were too scared to try and attack you because they didn't want to give you room and space. And when they did towards the end, you pipped them off. Look, tonight's going to feel like a loss for Chelsea fans. But they have to take some positives out of this, that they are a very good footballing team. Koulibaly, by the way, sensational. I mean, that goal, that finish, if Messi or Ronaldo did that, it would trend for a week. That's a centre-back. People said he had no technique. Absolutely brilliant. Kane didn't get a sniff. And there's a long way to go. And you've got to remember, there's a handful of new players in this team. 2 or 3 more are going to come in. You've got to integrate them and start moving forward. But anybody that wrote Chelsea off at the start of the season as if they were going to not be ready, they weren't going to be able to cope, they weren't going to play nice football, they're wrong. They still need some players. But Thomas Tuchel's the right man. And if he gets backed by your owners, which it looks like he's going to, you're going to do absolute bits. Let's go to some more comments here before calls. Red card, but no ball in play, so still Spurs' ball. Now, but it was when the ball was being crossed, so the ball was in play. It wasn't. I swear it was when the ball. No, violent conduct doesn't matter if the ball's in play or not. It's irrelevant. It's violent conduct and should have been a red card, I think. But I swear the ball was being crossed when that happened. So the ball.
I mean, if the ball is out and you go across and you punch somebody in the face, you still get a red.
Exactly. Violent conduct. It should have gone. Yeah. Terry, I hate to moan about refs because you shouldn't really do refs to win a match, but some of the decisions were disgusting today. Bruv, I very rarely blame referees. I've probably done it 3 times on the terrace or on social media in the near decade I've been doing this. And today was one where I do. Because Spurs shouldn't have even had those attempts to score because of those fouls that were given. If it happens once, look, the irony is once and Chelsea went on to win the game again. You've got to do that. For it to happen twice in a game, and the fact that Romero now gets to play the next 3 games, Chelsea fans should be angry.
And look at the difference in the refereeing between the Nottingham Forest versus West Ham game and this one. I'm not saying that the standard of refereeing should go up as the profile of the game does, but just the lack of cohesion, the lack of the Nottingham Forest West Ham game was refereed to perfection. There were difficulties in that match where they had to make hard decisions, and Anthony Taylor and Mike Dean are these like continuous, like they have all these issues all the time. So yeah, I just think they need more consistency because that game was refereed so much better and it shouldn't be like that.
All this nonsense from the officials, we should still be able to defend a corner. And listen, Callum, I think that's fair criticism. I think that's fair criticism from you that you should still have defended that corner. But you are against one of the best attacking teams in the league. And you're in the 90th minute, you're frustrated, you're tired, it's a hot day. Yes, Chelsea fans, and it's good that Chelsea look at themselves. I'm sure Tuchel will still pull them up on their defending. Yeah. But you should be asking for the recordings of VAR to understand why that happened, because it's atrocious. Thank you very much here to True Chelsea FC for becoming a member. Zane here says Chelsea were better in all areas, but can't judge Spurs team on this performance. Liverpool didn't deserve anything last week, but they still got a point. I get that. No comment there from Umar. Chelsea need a Aguero-type striker, someone comfortable playing at the pace, good with the ball, and with good instincts to find room. Maybe he was out today, and I didn't check the bench today. Was Broja on the bench?
He came on.
He came on. Yeah. See, I think they've got to give Broja a chance. I think he needs an opportunity. Maybe not Spurs at home, big game, but I think he needs to be given an opportunity in this team. Kai Havertz, maybe one more game, but the level of chances he misses is not good enough for a team that the only success for Chelsea in the league is winning it, and you need someone more clinical. Reece James is Chelsea's best player in every department. Reece James was that cross for the Kai Havertz chance. Oh my God, David Beckham would be proud. That's how good it was. The best crosser in the world would have looked at that and gone, oh my days. Tuchel had Conte's number. Chelsea were robbed today by the ref, is what the Dean Waters has got to say here. Jess, congrats, featuring in Arsenal's All or Nothing. Yes, well done for being in All or Nothing.
Yeah, thank you. Not bad for a woman fan.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean that the guy called you a woman fan? So weird. So, like you see those old films with bow and arrows and stuff where they call you women folk. How are the women folk? The best front three are Tottenham's bottle lit destroyed. Is that what that says? Bottle light destroyed? Maybe my
best front three are of bottle lit destroyed. I don't know. Maybe.
I think that's what that says.
Yeah.
Banter clubs will be fighting for fourth. Arsenal well clear of these clowns. Spurs absolute frauds is what's said here. Jess, from a different angle, Bentancur touched the ball. Your bias as an Arsenal fan. I mean, I saw 4 angles and didn't see it. If I can be shown a new angle, I'll change my mind. If I'm given a new fact, I'm sure Jess will as well.
That's the thing. It's like, I've said that Chelsea made mistakes. Spurs, doesn't matter that they nicked the point, whatever. But you weren't good today. Like, I know Spurs fans are probably going to get in their bed tonight and be like, yeah, we got away with one. You did not play well. It's not bias. It's just facts.
Yeah, no, I hear that completely. I want to say a big thank you, by the way, to a man like Hamza for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. We're actually recording member content after this stream, so make sure you become a member so you can see it. Chelsea can't keep having defenders to score goals. That is true. In the long term, you can't be relying on Koulibaly worldies. Reece James will score goals because he is a world-class talent. He's on his way to being world-class. But they certainly need to buy a striker, and they are in talks with one of the best finishers in the world, in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. That is happening. That is official. And that is moving forward. Look, people, we're going to go to your calls now. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you think. We want to know what you're feeling in relation to this game. Make sure like buttons are being smashed. First on the show, we're going to go to Chelsea fan. Oh, loads backstage. Matt's calling in now to have his say. Matt, welcome back to the terrace. What's on your mind, mate?
Mate, it's fucking 4 a.m. and I'm up for this fucking shit. I honestly can't be arsed. I got so much shit to do and I'm here watching the game. There's 2 different sides we can look at this. We can look at the referee, that bald-headed absolute fuck Anthony Taylor is a scum. He's a gronk. I hope someone fucking gets him fired.
Let's calm the swearing down a little bit, please.
Sorry.
Right, cool.
It's just normal language down here, but I'm sorry. VAR, where was VAR? People say that question. Where was Anthony Taylor? He had 2 eyes right on Cucurella right there. I don't know why he didn't see anything there. His eyes are right there. The Havertz one, where was the ball? Where did there was no ball touching there. Bentancur absolutely took him out 2 legs on 2 legs. It was a bad tackle. No call there. Let's look at the playing side. also Havertz. Havertz amount, again, it's not good enough. I can sit here and say Havertz was aggressive. Havertz was, he had a great intensity. But what did he show on that pitch that I can physically sit here and say he had some good touches or he had some good shots? He did nothing football-wise. Mount as well, I think he was a bit better in maybe creating some play. But again, he just can't finish the ball. And it goes back to that point that we were having with Aguero about Aubameyang. And Aubameyang, despite him not being the best player, he just upgrades our team tremendously. Look at Sterling in this game. You saw Sterling, absolutely fantastic. He killed it. He's the only attacker there who can get the ball, take on a couple players, and try to get a shot off. Every time we'll see a Reece James cross in, and there's no one in the box to header it. And I don't want to hear any J5 agendas. Jorginho had a fantastic game. That mistake, he had no one to pass it to. Now, I'm not going to give him full leverage to it. He should have cleared the ball, but Jorginho is a structural player who plays in structural positions, who passes it the ball. He doesn't just clear it and inshallah. He was supposed to find a man. He didn't find the man. He should have cleared it, but I'm not blaming him for that goal. Please stop with this J5 agenda. All these Chelsea fans, they say, oh, you're a hipster. You're a sorry sexual. J5 wears the badge like every other player on that pitch. Don't come at him. He's a fantastic player. Put his heart on that pitch. Tuchel just came out and said he had to sub him off because he was that tired. And that's what I got to say, man. I mean, Tottenham fans, I think I just said just before, they're going to go to sleep. They're going to realize they didn't deserve the win or the draw, but, fair play. When you got the referee like that, what can you do?
Listen, my guy, really appreciate you coming on. I understand your frustrations. I really, really do. Matt, thank you,
Thank you
for giving us your opinions. I mean, I want to ask you, Jay, was Jorginho as good as Matt just said?
No, he was very good, but you can be good and also make a mistake. And I just can't see beyond the fact that I think that Jorginho should be sending that ball out. Like he took several touches. Maybe he was put under pressure, but that stuff happens. And maybe if he had just at least tried to clear it, you could have seen what his intention was. But he was trying to play the ball out of the back with 3 men on him. And so you can have a really, really good game, be excellent, but also make a mistake leading to a goal. So that's kind of where I stand with it. It's not about Jorginho being a crap player. Often in these conversations, we're quite binary. Either you're the best player in the world or you were the worst player on the pitch, whatever. He had an excellent game, was a part of everything good that Chelsea did, but was definitely at fault for that second goal.
Yeah, look, I think...
Sorry, the first goal.
Yeah, like he could have cleared the ball. I think the players before him could. So he was kind of caught out. I mean, up until that, he did have a very, very, very good game indeed, in my opinion. Some of the passes that he made broke the lines, but were astoundingly good. But of course, like all fan bases have a player they want to kind of scapegoat, someone they want to put down. There'll be some today that'll be raging at Havertz because he didn't finish those chances. If he scores these goals, J5's mistake doesn't matter. Like the miss that Kai Havertz made is worse than Jorginho's mistake. Jorginho was surrounded by 3 players. He could have cleared the ball, but there were multiple other mistakes before it. There was not like Havertz can't be missing that. A £70 million player, an attacker at that, should not be missing. In fact, you wouldn't expect a £70 million centre-back to miss that. That was one of the worst, one of the worst misses you'll see.
That the Kai Havertz miss was a bigger deal than Jorginho not clearing the ball.
Yeah, of course. Because Kai Havertz's mistake was a tap-in from a practical open goal. Unless he hits you straight at the goalkeeper, it should be in the back of the net. Jorginho made a mistake, but that isn't what cost... That is, if you're just going to look at Chelsea's mistakes today, not the refereeing, that wasn't the biggest mistake that cost them 3 points today. Missing an abundant... Mason Mount was at the back post. A great cross comes in from Raheem Sterling for a tap-in header, but Mason Mount made a run into the middle. I mean, Raheem Sterling had a really good opportunity. All he had to do was get the right height on the ball from a shot 7-8 yards out, and he skies it over the bar. All those mistakes are as bad as what Jorginho did. If we're just looking at Chelsea's mistakes, the misses, what Jorginho did, not picking up Harry Kane for the last header, all these things contributed. I think to boil it down to Jorginho, it is a little wrong in my opinion. Like I get like you blame something big on the ref because the ref should have sent a player off and given a foul in the other direction. That's a massive moment that changed everything. But there were multiple mistakes from Chelsea today. But I think Chelsea fans shouldn't be walking away from this game angry, shouldn't be walking away from this game thinking that it's all doom and gloom. Because they, for 90% of the pitch, 90% of the game, they were sensational for me today. Super chat here says, yo, Terry, a Spurs fan here, not a gas one though. We did get proper lucky today, but it is what it is. There will be some controversial moments next week as well. Love the channel though, bro. Peace. Listen, my guy, a lot of people say I don't like Spurs. That's why I'm having a pop. I'm not having a pop. If Spurs had outplayed Chelsea today, I'd have said how amazing you were and how poor Chelsea were. I don't flip-flop in that way. I think you're going to be a brilliant team this year. I think you were very lucky today, though. And by the way, you're going to lose points this season where you're unlucky. That's going to happen. I don't understand how VAR didn't do anything about the hair pulling. Even Thomas Tuchel said when are we allowed to pull hair? Red has been given for less. Yeah, I hear you on that, my friend. Chelsea fans should be fuming. We are going to speak to some more fans here. We've got Roy coming on in a moment. Before though, we're going to speak to a Tottenham fan. Alan is with us. Do you pick up the point today? What you got to say, bro?
Yeah, let's just say it was a really lucky point. We started the first 5 or 10 minutes. We started well. We pushed high up, and then all of a sudden, Chelsea were all over us. We sat back. We were shocking. Chelsea should have beaten us comfortably 3 or 4-0, but they didn't do it. So they've only got themselves to blame, really. Take a point where we play awful. Normally at the Bridge, we play bad and get slapped. We didn't do it this time. For me, the equaliser goal for Højbjerg I called in real time a foul. Looking back at it, Benzema got the ball. We scored the goal. It was fine. For me, that was absolutely fine. The only thing I can't say is that second one, how Romero has remained on that pitch is beyond me. The referee didn't give it, but surely VAR should be overturning that. I like the way people are saying about the ref all game. I think the referee had a good game in the fact he was letting things go. We've actually got football where you can actually be a bit more rough and ready. None of this whole slight tap and then I'll go down, hold my ankle, roll 12 times and look for the ref for a free kick. So in certain aspects, it's better, but VAR should be overturning that all the time. But Chelsea are going to look at this game as 3 points missed, like an extra 2 points dropped. Spurs, it was absolutely awful performance. Like compared to last week, absolutely abysmal. Son, this is 2 games in a row where Son has been awful. He needs to shape up. Romero needs to cut out the stupidity because on another day, that's a red card and we lose. We don't get a point. But still in the season, we've got to find a way to be able to, be comfortable playing out. Like down the wing backs, massive problems with Royal and Session. Had a good game last week, showed their true colours this week. But yeah, still early in the season, still got to, sort out some problem areas. But we came away with a point, daylight robbery, and I'll take it all game long. But the first one, I see people complaining that Chelsea fans should go over it. It was not a foul.
Listen. It's good to hear someone. But again, we don't agree on everything, but it's good to hear there's no weird bias for that last one because I want to hear a Spurs fan defend it and make it make sense, mate. I really, really do.
It can't make sense. It's literally assault on the pitch, and I can't believe it never got overturned. It's weird.
It's crazy, mate. Alan, always a pleasure to speak, my friend. We'll chat again soon. Top man. Thank you. Roy, if you're there, mate, put your camera on or unmute your mic so I know that you're there. I can't tell if you're actually there or not. Next on the show, I'm going to go to Prime's with us. What are you saying, Prime?
Chelsea fans talk about refereeing decisions and stuff, and fair enough, especially for the second goal. I'm someone that doesn't like to focus on that. We should have done enough to see the game out, and we didn't. The first goal, for example, I think Mendy should have done poor from J5. I think Mendy should have done better to save that. The second goal, I think that's just kind of poor defending from us. We also had chances to score more. Like before Spurs scored the equalizer, we should have been 2-0 up anyway from Havertz. Before Spurs scored their second equalizer to make it 2-2, I think Sterling missed a sitter that he put over the bar. That should have made it. That would have made the game 3-1 and killed it off. So we had chances ourselves, and we had our own opportunities to end and kill the game, and to just solely focus it and make it all about refereeing decisions. Yes, it's terrible, and Anthony Taylor has a knack of doing this against us. Fair enough, whatever. But in those games that happens in, there's also moments where we can point to where we haven't done our own job to see the game out and kill the game. And this is something where it's a recurrent thing that's happened in the past, which is why we need something to happen in our forward line. As well as people can talk about our finishing, but our creativity is also a problem. Players making the right decisions in those moments is also a problem. Mount was, I guess, okay today, but still not good enough. Havertz, still not good enough. I think I rate Broha, but I didn't want him playing today because this is such a big game for him that if he had played bad and we had lost, that puts too much pressure onto him. But maybe going forward, we're playing Leeds, play him in that game and see what he does. Like, why not? He deserves a chance. If not that he's not good enough, at least for the chance of everyone else has been so bad, see what he can do. Maybe it's a bit of a change.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate that you don't want to blame refs and whatever else. You don't seem very disappointed or upset or angry though at the dropping points. You seem very calm for a Chelsea fan who's just been robbed.
Yeah. I have no reason to be worried. Like, I'm very confident about us, like, at the minimum finishing in the top 4 this season. So any like bumpy rides or anything negative that happens this season, at least me personally, I don't have a reason to be angry or sad or cry or anything. So
fair enough. I'm just interested to hear stuff like that's like you don't care.
no, it's not. I don't care. It's not. I don't care. It's just like I don't know. It's like
other teams getting robbed and other, like when a gal says something crazy about Arsenal, like it's like, yeah, it's okay, it doesn't matter. It's weird to see, mate. But listen, Prime, always a pleasure to speak, my friend, and we'll chat again soon. Top man, thank you. Next on, if you're an angry Chelsea fan backstage, I want to know someone who wants to say something. I want some passion. I want some, not aggression, but I want some passion. I want some love. I want to hear a Spurs fan come on and laugh at Chelsea. Stop being pundits and be fans, or you're not coming on the terrace anymore. I'm being blunt. Be a fan or go away. Simple as that. I want fans on the terrace. That's what I'm saying to you now. Speaking of fans, Alex is here. Alex, how lucky were Tottenham today?
Well, we're very lucky. It wasn't a very good performance at all, to be honest with you. It wasn't a very good performance at all. I mean, let's start with a positive. We got back into the game. We got a lucky goal from Højbjerg, but the energy was quite clear to see. We did really well. That second goal was well done. You know what I mean? I think that was also because Conte came off as well from that injury, so that helped us a little bit. But and to be honest with you, it kind of negates my theories about the fact that we shouldn't be in that Champions League because we're going to get bantered out of it. Because I'm telling you right now that Chelsea team that played today is every single Champions League team that will be playing against Tottenham, depending on what we're going to get in the group. So, I mean, that just shows you what truth hurts Tottenham fans, like I said, because I need to tell the truth to Tottenham fans a lot of the time because they think we're going to win the league all of a sudden, some of them after last week. But yeah, like I said, it's a good performance, a very good performance. It's a dogged performance. Dogged performance. We got through the game, and to be honest with you, I'm happy with the draw. And we move on, and that's it. This is the beginning of the season. I'm not going to get angry about 2 games. In 2 games, we've got a long way to go. We've got a World Cup to come through. So, you know what I mean. I'm okay with this at the moment. I'm great. I'm fine with it. The antics at the end of it, don't know about that. But we have to move, and that's it.
I hear that, Alex. Listen, my friend, we'll chat again soon, brother. Thanks for coming on and having your say. Very honest assessment there from another Spurs fan, really. None of them really seem to be like, so far, Alan's especially, he's like, I don't like all these Spurs fans getting giddy about us.
That's because Patrick is not here. He ducked out and didn't come. But, I mean, he said that they were going to slap Chelsea and now is saying that they have a great mentality because they held on for the draw. Any real Spurs fan is going to say that they did not play well today. You could not have looked at that and said that was mentality. It just wasn't.
Well, this is what I've said all along. Spurs are a good team. Spurs will push for top 4. Spurs might make top 4. But this notion that they could challenge for the Premier League title, it's not even a pipe dream. It's not even a wish. It's something that's never going to happen. I am never playing in the NBA. I'm not. I'm never going to sell a #1 album. I am never going to be able to dance like Michael Jackson. These are things that are physically impossible for me. They're never happening unless they change, unless they ban everybody that's over 5'10" to play in the NBA. Even then, I ain't got a chance. I'm not that good at bouncing the ball. Like, it's not Spurs winning the league. There is no chance. There is absolutely zero chance this season they win the league. They're not good enough. So I'm not People think I'm attacking Spurs. I'm not saying you're not a good team. I'm saying Spurs fans talk about winning the league. Spurs winning the league. I'll tell you a less crazy prediction. Man United making top 4. Man United have more chance of making top 4 than Spurs winning the league.
And that's
Guarantee it.
That's what we're talking about, right? Like, I know some people are, oh, well, you're an Arsenal fan, you're Manchester United, da, da, da. It's not about that. It's about those claims. As soon as you guys bought a couple of players that, oh, we're on the same level as Manchester City and Liverpool. Daniel found out last season, when he was saying the same things about Chelsea, that there are gaps between the teams that are fighting for top 4 and those two. So you can't really start chatting about it because you bought a couple of players,
absolutely.
It's not going to close that gap.
No, absolutely. I said it a few years ago, right? And I'll take it away from both the clubs playing today to make it a neutral example. You can be overrated and brilliant at the same time.
Yeah.
Van Dijk was the best centre-back in the world and still is. But he was overrated at the time because people were saying he's one of the greatest centre-backs of all time. It's like, well, you're overrating him now, even though that he's world-class. That's what's happening with Tottenham. They are a brilliant team, but they're being spoken about as a top-class, title-contending team with zero evidence. There's zero evidence that Spurs haven't been in a title race for what, 40-plus years? Where's the evidence they're in one this year? It's crazy to me. It really is crazy. We've got some more super chats here. My brother here, Josh King, big Spurs fan, says, I love that. Hardest fixture out the way, and we snatched a point. We have been too nice historically, but nastiness saved us today. Come on, you Spurs.
Oh, so you're backing what Romero did. Snatching somebody's hair
Listen,
outside of the game.
Let me just say this. If I'm a Spurs fan tonight, I'm celebrating. I'm laughing that we got away with it. I'm seeing Spurs fans try and defend it. That is the weak mentality. If you're a proper Spurs fan and you know you got away with it, you go, we were talking on the way up here, weren't we? I was saying how I love VAR, but I miss going to work or school on the Monday morning where the bad decision is the talking point. It doesn't happen anymore, not for me, because VAR generally is pretty good. The fact that it's happened today is quite a buzz. We've actually seen a controversial decision happen that should have been overturned. Every Spurs fan should be laughing, even if they hated the performance, going, oh my God, how in God's green earth have we got away with that? Bang on. Well done you, Josh, for being a fan. KO, come on, you Spurs, is what's been said there. Conduct of both managers is a disgrace to the EPL.
I disagree. I think you need a little bit of that. And this just kind of goes back to the conversation that we were having earlier around Pep versus Klopp and all this kind of stuff. It's overly hyped. Of course, their teams are amazing, but there's no battle between them. And I know, like, you can attest to this, is that some of the best times, like, with Sir Alex Ferguson and Wenger, was the fact that they actually hated each other. They respected each other, but they hated each other. And there was always that little bit of like animosity on the sideline. Same thing with Wenger and Jose Mourinho. Like, that's what makes the game box office. Nobody wants to see a bunch of people that like each other. It's been too nicey for too long.
Absolutely. It's not a disgrace. Listen, do you know what's interesting? Women's football is growing, and it's great to see it. What it now needs is rivalry, stick, and fights. I'm not talking hurting people. I'm talking verbal fights, pushing each other. The England players looking over the shoulder at the German players' tactics or the message on the paper. Bit of shithousery. It needs the needle, because that needle creates the anticipation, which creates the viewing figures. That animosity in the crowd makes it compelling to watch on television. If football sounds like Soccer Aid, people stop watching it. We watch Soccer Aid because it's fun to watch a bunch of celebrities that can't play football. If that was the level of football in terms of the noise the crowd made, it's like 80% kids and it's all friendly. No, you need that. I don't want to see no one doing that crazy. But you want a bit of pushing. You want a bit of pizza being thrown. I don't mind seeing a player or two slap each other in the face. It's sport. It's what you want to see. All the best sports in the world have needle. If you remove it, you kill the game. Bentancur stopped after the tackle. He knew it was a foul. Absolutely. This game just shows how good Tuchel is as a manager, but Anthony Taylor should be taken down to Sunday League. But we need Aubameyang, but positive is what Nathaniel's got to say.
If you had Aubameyang today, you would have been 4-0 clear, because he would have finished those chances.
Away. If Romero was Xhaka, that's all. That's true. It's reputation plays a part in this.
And I was thinking that, and I didn't want to bring it up because, I don't know, I think some people don't like this type of stuff, but the perception of Romero in the league is that he's this hard guy and, he's a little bit of a bully and a bastard and all this kind of stuff. I haven't really seen much of that, but just somebody that makes bad tackles. He's walking around, chest all puffed out. And so he does that, and it's considered just a part of his game. somebody else does it and they're considered maybe not as hard or whatever, they do something like that, it's them playing dirty. So I do think perception may have helped Romero there, because since he's been here, that whole thing about him, that narrative is that he's this hard bully. You know, maybe it's okay for a hard bully to do something like that.
You're absolutely right. It's one of the reasons why Steven Gerrard got sent off in his final game. He got caught out. Gerrard was a player that got away with a lot of bad fouls and tackles in his career because he was seen as a nice guy. Harry Kane today should have been booked in the first 5 minutes, but he got away with it because he's Harry Kane. If that would have been a different type of player, if that would have been a Bruno Fernandes, he's booked. If that would have been, even if that would have been a Højbjerg, he probably would have got booked. But certain players get away with different, especially when you're England captains, by the way, get away with murder. They all have. Tony Adams at Arsenal used to. There's no doubt. I think Gary Neville might have got away. Was he England captain? I think he was, actually. Rio Ferdinand, when he was captain, got away with it for a bit. The captains always do. Points could cost Chelsea at the end of the season. We'll see. Like, all points are important. We get that. Conte was excellent. He was, and he might miss up to 6 weeks now with an injury. Sensational today, that man was again. Point at the bridge will take. Look at Spurs versus City last season. You can dominate possession both games. All we need is a couple of chances. Chelsea should have put the game away. Let's effing go. Come on, you Spurs.
To see the difference between the Liverpool and Man City games for Spurs last season and what we saw today was that they played well in those games. Their game plan was still working. They were able to get into the channels in behind and create those 1 or 2, 3, 4 chances. They looked more cohesive. It looked like a game plan. Conte got stopped today. He got outclassed tactically today, where he was actually on top of Klopp and Pep in the games that they played at the back end of last season. So again, any Spurs fan that was really watching that has to be honest and say, we didn't actually play well. Conte got outclassed.
Yeah, and I think what this guy's saying that I agree with, though, is, and you said it in the game, because of Son, because of Kane, because of Kulusevski, he's been productive. Yeah. They only need those handful of chances. That's what Chelsea have got to add. And again, I respect this opinion because it's right. Point at the bridge, you'll take it. It isn't about how well you'll play on a points level, but it depends where you see yourself as a Spurs fan. If you see yourself as top 4 contenders, there's nothing to worry about from today. If you see yourselves like Patrick does, if you see yourself like Ricky Sachs does, if you see yourself like Jordan does, part of the terrace, if you see, then today's worrying because you were absolutely outclassed by a team that you've said you're finishing 10 points in front of or going to beat to a league title this year. Yeah. So it depends how you see your club to how you should assess today.
And it also depends because we have a small sample size right now. We have Spurs, this new title contending Spurs, battering Southampton, but also having a bad game against Chelsea. So it's a small sample size. And if that becomes more of the norm, that you guys can't play the way that you want to play and you have to be kind of flat track bullies, then we maybe have to make some, adjustments on what the expectations of this team is.
So I could not agree with you more. We're going to go to some more calls here before we go to more super chats. Make sure you're smashing that like and that share button, people. Make sure that's getting done. We're going to go to Jay. He's a Chelsea fan. He looks fuming backstage. What are you saying, Jay?
Jay, Terry, I've been dying to get on the show with you. I've been here so many. I really want to talk to you. Today is the perfect time as well. J5. First of all, we're gonna get to Fraud Taylor later. That's the next point. This Anthony Taylor guy needs to be suspended. I really like you as a football as this channel because this channel there's no bias in this channel. When you speak today, when you came on, you spoke about this game. You at least you were fair. There's a lot of Chelsea fans that are playing down. What happened today? This is not fair. People come to these games for a fair game to escape their normal lives. You come here and you see something like that, I'm gonna walk away very upset. I've walked away from this game because I don't even know. I can't even get my feelings into words properly. Now, besides that, the referee, J5, Chelsea fans need to stop defending him. I understand at the start of this game, he had a lot of good moments. Cool. Nice. But that mistake, why are you trying to do dragbacks in the box when you're surrounded by 5 players? It doesn't make sense. I don't care how good you are as a sitting 6. At any midfielder, any player, when you're surrounded, when you're under pressure, kick the ball out. Just kick it away. For me, I think for any player that has a ball, or let's say you have you're playing hot potato, get this thing away from you. Get the ball out. I don't understand why, foul or no foul. He's so, even for tired or not, stop being so switched off. We need somebody who has that sort of composure for 90 minutes, who can really sit down and say, you know what, I'm going to be composed. I'm going to lead this midfield. I'm going to be the guy. Jorginho's not that guy. He's just not that guy. And the more I see this guy make mistakes like this, we saw it last season against Man United. We saw it last season against Arsenal. He makes these mistakes where he costs us. Of course, the hair pull was bad, but you subtract J5's mistake, and even if the referee doesn't call that foul, we would be 2-1 up. Like, we would be 2-1 up.
I hear you completely. What was your take on Anthony Taylor today in terms of the decisions that he made?
He's a joke. He's just a joke. He leaves me deflated. Every single time I watch a game when this guy's officiating, he leaves me deflated at the end. He always does something to confuse my brain. Like, how can you see someone getting their hair yanked, stop the game, start talking to people, and when you should call that ball back, you say, oh no, guys, the ball's coming, focus on the corner. You've lost your marbles. Anthony Taylor is a pathetic man. I cannot stand him. And I'm not going to sit here and say he has bias against certain teams. I'm not going to sit here and play that much of a victim. But I just feel like, personally, he's just not a good ref. Arsenal won't encounter this season. Tottenham won't encounter this in other games this season. I feel like it will affect everybody when it matters.
I agree with you on that. I don't think it's a Chelsea conspiracy, but I think it's disgusting refereeing. And this is where football fans let themselves down in the long term. Instead of calling things out to make refereeing better, it will never improve because we love it when it happens to a rival. Does that make sense? It's like, I think if football fans have got to go into a secret room and vote, keep the refereeing standard at this level or change it to a better level so no one gets robbed, I think 80% of people would vote this level, because more mistakes happen to your rivals than happen to you because you're only one club, right? I think people enjoy it. I don't think fans and clubs want the refereeing to be better. They say they do, but they do nothing proactive to change it. My guy, great call, my friend. Appreciate you coming on and having your say. Top man, Jay. Speak again soon, brother. Thank you very much. Roy is on the show next. What you saying, Roy the boy?
That's fucking bullshit, man. Absolutely fucking bullshit. We should have won this game, 100%. We're clearly the superior side. Outplayed them. Tuchel tactically outsmarted Conte yet again, absolutely shat all over him tactically. And we've left with a draw because Anthony Taylor decided that someone standing right in front of him, literally pulling someone's hair, not just pulling his hair, dragging him down to the ground, is not a foul. As in, I personally think it should be a red card. But even if it's not a red card, cool. It's still a wrong decision. But to not call it as a foul is absolutely fucking outrageous. I'm tired. I'm so tired of Anthony Taylor reffing our games. He's fucked us over so many fucking times. I'm honestly so tired. God, you're hearing me right now. Please answer my prayers and keep this stupid fucking ref away from my club, man. Like, we completely shut all over them in every area of the pitch. And we've left with a draw because Anthony Taylor decided, Romero shouldn't get... I don't even know what to say. I'm fucking fuming, man. Like, I actually thought I was calm, but now I'm actually speaking about it. I'm so flippant angry because we played so well today. Yes, cool, J5 did make an error. I really hate it when teams try to overplay. Like, kicking it out is not going to hurt you. You can regroup, get your defensive shape back and prepare for the next phase of play. So, yes, it's criminal that Jorginho didn't clear it. I thought Havertz got fouled as well. And you could tell by the way Bentancur reacted, he knew it was a foul. It was so clearly a foul. So there was a foul in the lead up to the first goal. The second goal, Cucurella got his hair pulled, and they've ended up with a 2-2 draw somehow. Like, I honestly can't believe it. But what pisses me off less is that I know that we've got a superior manager. We're clearly the superior side, and I'm just hoping we get the business we need to done before the transfer window shuts. So we can, because we're clearly at least the third best team in this country. It's hands down true. Like, nobody can convince me otherwise. It's just, we got robbed today by a referee who's got a history of leaving its imprint on our games in a negative way. That's all I can say, man.
Listen, I could not agree with you more in terms of today. I feel your frustrations as I'm probably going to go on loan to Chelsea this year because my club's in a relegation battle. So, now I'm only joking. But I feel you're 100% Roy. Listen, I'm sure we'll catch you on the top 6 later on in the week. Enjoy your Sunday, brother, as best you can. And we'll speak soon. Cheers, mate. Thank you. We've got Winter Surfer to come on the show. We've got Archie to come. We've got more callers back. There's loads of people backstage. We want to do some more super chats because I want to obviously respect the terrace community as best I can. There was one that came in here from Eagles that says, absolutely disgusting behavior. What is the prize by referees? Just absolutely disgusting. Curry got paid off. What a prize for the referee. You could see what was going on, but probably got paid off. I smell corruption, is what Eagle Liar has got to say. True German sausage about to swing now. I like a bit of German sausage, to be honest. It's the best sausage there is. Romero should get a match ban at least. He won't, though, because it was looked and it was reviewed. That won't happen, but I hear you. Barca was the best when it was Jose versus Pep, absolutely. What saddens me is that Koulibaly's brilliant goal is overshadowed by the missed calls. It is. I mean, that goal should have been on a winning team today, shouldn't it, Jay?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Koulibaly hit that so clean. I remember you were kind of looking at it, trying to see if he had maybe hit it with a shin or something, but he hit it so clean. And yeah, Chelsea back up to their old tricks, all their center backs and full backs scoring goals for them. But that was an excellent goal, and it was like the only real standout goal for the day. You know, it was leaps and bounds. Probably it might have been besides maybe Kevin De Bruyne's goal. Might have been the goal.
Yeah. I mean, De Bruyne's good, but I think for a centre back to volley that like that, that's just the technique you need is out of this world. And Manuel here says, I swear Romero gives me Pepe vibes. I agree, as in not Pepe at Arsenal, Pepe at Real Madrid. Yeah, the proper Pepe. Speak on Koulibaly. Look, Koulibaly, great on the. People talk about Koulibaly like he was some erratic, non-balling, top-class centre back. He's out of this world. He's out of this world. He's going to show people levels this season. Spurs didn't play well, Jess, but it's still clearly mentality. Never stopped playing for 90 minutes. Now it's different. By the way, love the Conte versus Tuchel. Need more. Yeah, I mean, I think that, I get the mentality thing. I've seen Arsenal will themselves through things like this, though, before. Like, especially, I think we've done it to Chelsea quite a bit of times. We were by far the worst team, and we came away with a point or all three. And so when you really step back and look at it, you have to say that it wasn't a good performance like you already have. But yeah, like if you want to call it mentality, fair enough. But I just think if I was a Spurs fan, I would be thinking more about, is this who we are? Like, is this how we're going to be? More than just like, because you guys kind of already know that you can nick a point in a difficult situation. So that's not really something that you needed to see. I think you need to see that like you can actually play against these teams. And did they beat the allegations in terms of Chelsea? I think that's a big part of it as well. Like they, for a long time, have been seen as like maybe Chelsea's younger brother type. You know, they kind of bully them around. And I don't think they beat the allegations today, regardless of the score. And I think that's more what I'm thinking. Yeah, the Spurs definitely didn't do that. And I think Chelsea did prove to people that they're ready for this season. Yeah. They can get better, and they will get better. And look, City have looked brilliant from the first kick. We haven't seen Liverpool play their second game yet. Arsenal have looked sensational. And we're talking top six teams here. Arsenal and City have started off flawlessly. Liverpool haven't in their opening game. Chelsea haven't been sensational, but they've got 4 points and really should have 6. Spurs, very good against Southampton. Bang average today, but got a point. So there's, you know, and this is why the preseason element was so... Man United, the worst. Why are we even talking Man United today? Why are you doing that to me? We'll get back on. I've had enough of ranting today. A lot of Man United fans don't like me anymore because I've called them all out. If you're wearing a Man United shirt, you're a Glazer. But it's a case of the preseason stuff is crazy. Arsenal's preseason was good. Their start to the season is good. Chelsea's preseason was horrendous. They've started the season better than a team that everybody predicting to challenge for the title in Liverpool. City were awful in average in preseason, got battered by Liverpool in the Community Shield. And look how they've been in their first 2 games. Chelsea have answered those calls that they weren't ready. Mm-hmm. And when they sign 2 or 3 more players between now and the end of the window, they will go to that next level. No international breaks on the horizon, just football. And Chelsea are the real deal. Let's go to this comment here that says that those are the best moments. Athletes are modern day gladiators. The bad tackles, the heated moments is why we love football. Couldn't agree with you more, my friend. It may not be the same everywhere in the world, but here, love it, mate. Absolutely love it. Next on the show, we're going to go to Spurs fan. Orchie's here. What are you saying, bro?
Sorry, mate. You called me out again. look, listen. First of all, Spurs were extremely lucky today. I have to say, if we lost that game 4-0 or 4-1 or 4-2, no complaints. But I have to say, first of all, the Bentancur tackle. I don't know what angles you guys saw it at. I saw the thing that I was watching. It showed it from the left-hand side of where the tackle comes in. And I promise you, he got his toe on the ball. So that was not a foul. He got the ball, and so that was the correct call. In terms of the hair pull thing, I hear what you're saying, but the ball was not in play. The replays clearly showed that when the tussle happened, they tussled inside the area. It happens at every single corner where players tussle with each other. And again, if you see the replays, he was actually trying to pull his shirt on the back, but because his hair is so long, his hand got caught in his hair and he pulled him down. The referee stopped it. VAR checked it, and this is why I think they let it go on, because it wasn't. I don't think it was intentional. But either way, even let's say Romero should have been sent off, that corner is still going to come in and we're still going to score. It doesn't change the fact that, the red card situation does not cancel out the corner and does not cancel out the goal. It's as simple as that. But Chelsea, had they taken their chances, they should have beaten us today by a long shot. I accept that, and we were very lucky.
I think that a lot of the points that you made are absolutely right. Chelsea still have to defend the corner, and that's why I think that Tuchel will probably focus mostly on that with his team, that they still needed to defend those corners and not make those mistakes. But if you think Romero did that unintentionally, I don't know what you were watching. That was totally intentional. And
yes, I agree with you, but they seem to be pulling each other's shirts. The first tussle where they were pulling, actually, Cucurella was pulling Romero first.
The ball does not have to be in play for violent conduct to come into play.
Yeah,
you can't just grab somebody. So the ball being in play is not really a factor there. The reality is that when you looked at it, maybe they saw it from a different angle and you saw something else, but it looked like Romero, you can't just have a handful of this man's hair and say he was just looking for the back of his shirt. Come on.
So let's say that Romero got sent off. We still would have had a corner to take, even if the referee said stop.
You don't know that because there's a ripple effect. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So you can't say that we still would have scored no matter what if we would have had,
I'm not saying we would have scored, but people are saying he should have been given a foul and we shouldn't have been allowed to take a corner. That's not right. The game wasn't in play. Okay,
it shouldn't even be a foul. It should have been violent conduct, and he should have got a red card.
Okay, red card, and then afterwards, we still would have had a corner to take. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, we don't know what the outcome of that would have been.
You also have to remember that the Chelsea players were clearly kind of rattled by the situation not going in their favor. So again, if they had felt justified and had gotten the red card, they may have been able to concentrate. So again, I don't think you can say that no matter what we were scoring. You can't say that. But a lot of your points were actually spot on.
Yeah, look, listen, Archie, listen, I respect you. I look at it this way. I just want to hear, because I swear I read earlier on this season, in the preseason, that the VAR conversations are now recorded and they're going to play them. I've read that. I want to hear why they didn't give it. And my view is this: Chelsea should take whatever they say and then start doing that in games. I'm talking, they should just start pulling people's hair for just literally a kickoff. Walk up to a player and pull his hair and go, and then no one will be able to get in trouble. They've set themselves up for failure here, the referees, because what we've never been given before as fans is the in-the-moment rationale to why something wasn't given. And we've seen players before get red cards and then they've had it overturned because they can show video evidence at the trial of 3 other players doing the same thing where they weren't sent off or they didn't get a retrospective. This is what Chelsea should be doing with this, because it's an horrendous mistake. And I get why you would defend it. You're a Spurs fan. You want to celebrate the win. For me, if it was my team, I'd be going, that was definitely a red card. But
it could have been. No, it is. I think we definitely got away with one today. But then, isn't that what we always say? It's even going into games where you're playing. Listen, the red card thing, I'm not going to defend it. He should have probably got a red card regardless. But saying that, people are going off as if Spurs are getting decisions. Spurs get plenty of decisions against them. Terry, you should know, 9 in 50 yards when everybody in Old Trafford saw the ball cross over the line about 3 yards.
Did not cross the line. Did VAR give it? Did VAR give it?
Listen,
I hear you, my friend. Brother, thank you for calling in, mate, and having your say. I really do appreciate
you guys. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Winter Surfer's on the show next to have his say. What you saying, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting to come on here after Spurs fans said they were going to batter us 3-1, 3-0 all week. I was expecting to be humbled, but I keep telling everyone, Spurs don't come to the Bridge and win, and they don't come and play well. It just doesn't happen. 1 win in 38 games. 1 win in all comps in 32. But I'm not going to blame the ref. I think we have the same old problems at Chelsea. Conversion. We had the chances to do it. Havertz missed that chance from Reece James. It was a beautiful ball. But I want to say that this team looked the more ready of the two teams. You know, I was told, you know, we kept hearing that Spurs were more ready of the team. You know, Chelsea needs to do this and that. But I think Jess said it. We just need, whether it's Aubameyang for short term, I don't know, but we just need that player just to get us over the line. Because
just some breaking news regarding Chelsea. According to Sky Sports, Chelsea have just submitted a £40 million bid for Everton's Anthony Gordon.
Why?
Who? Oh,
No, I think he's talented. I was saying last night, I think he's really good.
But Terry, he's not what we need.
He's better than Loftus-Cheek. He's better than Hudson-Odoi.
Loftus-Cheek played well today. I know I'm a bit down. He actually played well today. He locked down that right-hand side. But I want to hear news on a striker, whether it's a Aubameyang or not. I just need that forward because, or like you said, I think it's a give Broho a chance up front. Let him see what he can do, especially away next week. But I thought they played very well today in all areas. It's just, once again, these top games, you need that clinical finishing or else you're going to get punished. And that's what happened to us.
From your perspective, like in terms of midfield, like Conte being out for a significant amount of time, but also being such a big part of why you guys were so dominant, does that make you worried coming up until the end of the transfer window, needing to address that position as well?
2 things. I'm worried that we're spending too much time on De Jong and I don't hear any linked to any other midfielder at all. And if I was Chelsea, I don't really care what other Chelsea fans think. I'd put in a bid for Ruben Neves right now because I think he is a very underrated footballer and I think he can do a job for us. And Kante being out, mark my words, this will not be Kante's first injury this season.
Yeah, his body's absolutely shot to bits. So he's done at the elite level now because you won't be able to rely on him. When he's fit, he's brilliant. When he isn't, you know, that's going to be a massive hole.
Kovacic is injured.
You've got to go and get De Jong this week or Neves, really. You need someone like that. We'll see what happens with De Jong. I've got some videos ready for that. Done deal videos done. Don't worry about that one. Listen, Winter Surfer, you're a legend, mate. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you. We've got some more super chats here. First one says, we can't stop the J5. Can we stop the J5? That's not his name, is what David Hamilton says. United is prepared to terminate Ronaldo's contract. That's already been rejected by Man United, but we will see. I'm already seeing people go, oh, Man United are trying to pass the blame, so I'll start on Ronaldo. I'll say this about this very quickly. Ronaldo, the individual, isn't to blame. Man United are for not getting rid of him weeks ago when he didn't want to be here. I told everyone in videos that you all call me a clickbaiter for. But why did you call me a clickbaiter? Because people are too afraid to speak the truth nowadays online. Keeping him was undermining and cheating the process. Soon as that Ronaldo situation arose, I said, all the good work's undone. Done it with Rashford as well. Club's a joke. Chelsea were not robbed. Terry, you know nothing about football, period. Facts. Thank you for the super chat, my guy on my channel about football. Spurs fans will argue we played bad, but makes the point more interesting. Very intense game with 2 Champions League clubs. Keen to watch Gooners at the Bridge. Listen, very good game. I could not disagree with you at all on that one. And I'm looking forward to seeing Arsenal go away to the big teams this year. It's going to be intriguing. Can you kill someone if the ball isn't in play? All right. It's a little bit far, my friend. Expressions is going around with his fan cam saying that Spurs deserved at least a draw, laugh at the decision on Chelsea, and that's the mentality. Listen, Expressions knows what he's doing. He's rattling you, mate. He's rattling you. Gordon for 40 million to Chelsea. Omar's put that in. Spurs' first goal was offside. Richarlison was
I don't believe
blocking?
in this whole
Okay.
blocking the eyesight of the goalkeeper thing. Like every time I see one of those, I'm just like, they're protecting these goalkeepers too much for me. But
There we go. Jay has spoken. No red card for Zidane by that logic. Yeah.
The ball wasn't in
You
play.
Yeah, of course. We better not sell Gallagher to Newcastle.
But you know what? If Anthony Gordon goes to Chelsea, I would not be surprised if some Chelsea fringe players go the other way, because you know Frank Lampard is desperate to get his
Callum
own blues going.
Callum Hudson-Odoi to Everton.
Exactly.
110%. Next on the show, Zion's here. What are you saying, Zion?
You're right, Terry.
Yeah, I'm good. What do you want to say, bro?
It was a good performance from the team, I'd say. We should have deserved the win, I'd say, on the performance-wise, but I'll take a point early on in the season right now. Spurs came, did their job, which I knew what they were going to do. We were going to sit back in the first half, all men behind the ball. We started fast. I think Sterling did all right. I think Koulibaly was immense tonight. You know, I think for that goal, I mean, for a centre-back, scoring that kind of caliber of goal is next level, especially in his first game at Stamford Bridge as well. So, yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the shenanigans off the pitch, to be honest, with Tuchel and Conte, because that's what I wanted to see, to be honest with them, because them two are so, like, you know, with themselves, like, you know, what's the word I was going to say? Like, they're very you know, I can't want to say the word
Animated.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so, and for them to clash, it was extraordinary, in my opinion. I think that was the icing on the top of the cake for me. I mean, both of them just going at it. Many more, hopefully, years to come for them to go at it again. But yeah, I mean, Tottenham, I mean, I'm glad that they didn't win the game, let's be real, because that would have been their second win at Stamford Bridge. But I think we need a number 9 up front. I think we had a number 9 today. We would have won that game comfortably, easily. I mean, Havertz, I mean, I can't believe he missed that absolute ball from Reece James, you know.
Mate.
Absolute sitter that was.
He'll be having nightmares about that for a long time. His missus should make him sleep on the couch tonight as a punishment. That's as bad as cheating on your girlfriend, mate. I'm telling you.
I think his dog deserves to sleep on the bed than him sleeping on the bed today.
Absolutely. Zion, top man, for coming on, mate, having your say. I really do appreciate it. I do. Listen, I know there's more of you backstage, but we are at the end of the show now, my people. I can't take any more calls. I'm sorry for everybody that waited. We'll do some more call-ins shows over the next 2 or 3 days in the morning shows on the terrace. We've got the top 6 tomorrow at 6. So make sure you're all back 6 p.m. tomorrow on the football terrace. It'll be a great panel to review all the weekend's games, plus preview, of course, Liverpool versus Crystal Palace as well. But until next time, everybody, smash the like and share button. Jessica, thank you very, very much for being in here at the studio. Thank you. Big round of applause for J-Ron today. The tech went well. When the tech goes well, I'm always a happy boy. But listen, you are the best football community in the world. You back us better than anybody else. I know we can't always get your calls on. We don't put every single comment up. It's impossible. But we thank all of you for your continued support on the terrace. The biggest start to a season we've ever had. Don't go anywhere. We've got so much more in the pipeline for you. It's unbelievable. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thank you.